Hey there. Listen, I just had a quick word I want to share with you concerning relationships, maybe, or just people in general, or your discernment, or living righteously, or always doing what's right. How's that? Maybe a mouthful. So, my husband and I just got back from this vacation, like emergency family getaway, and we had to go take care of some personal issues, ideally. And we got back late one Thursday evening. It was very late after taking an all day flight. And as we drove up to our house, I said, I want to go in by way of the garage. So he said, the garage? I said, yes. So we went in by way of the garage that evening. And then the next day he said, oh, the landscapers did a phenomenal job. They, especially around your flower bed. He said, you should come see it. And again, I said, I will, but I want to go by way of the garage. And I don't know why. It was just something that was nudging me, telling me, don't go out the front door, go by way of the garage. So I did. And the moment I got out of the garage and I made the right turn to go towards the sidewalk that leads into the front door, there was a snake. Oh, yes. And I asked my husband, I said, do you not see that snake? And he was like, oh, it is a snake. Let me get a shovel so I can move him out into the road. I'm thinking, no, um, get rid of it. Don't just put it in the road. He said, honey, it's dead. And I said, it is not dead. He says, honey, it's dead. And I'm thinking, no, it's not. Here I am the night before telling myself, oh, we're going through the garage. We're not taking the sidewalk to get into the front door. And again, that next day was like maybe noonish, and he's beckoning me to come out. And I'm again saying, I'm not going out the front door. I'm going through the garage. And he said, we don't have, I'm thinking, we don't have gardening tools. There's no shovel here. He says, I'll go inside and get the dustpan. And I'm thinking, you're going to put that snake on my dustpan? So he does. He doesn't care. Guess what happens? Even though that snake didn't move, he crossed over that snake several times and it still stayed in the same position. The moment he put that snake onto the shovel or the dustpan and lifted the dustpan into the air as if he was going to walk away with it, the snake slithered off back onto the ground and went into the grass. It buried itself. He said, did you see that? I'm like, I didn't blink an eye. Not at all. Of course I saw that. I told you it was not dead. He said, that snake was dead. The moral of the story is snakes can pretend to be dead too. Just like puppies. Just like Mr. Bentley loves to get in the dying cockroach position and just stay there with his legs up in the air as if he's dead. Sometimes we have people in our lives that do certain things and they pretend they didn't know that they did these evil things to us or these wrong things to us. That snake pretend to be dead. And it wasn't even, I want to say maybe 6 inches, if that, maybe 5.5, close to that. Bigger than $1 bill. How about that? But the thing is, I've always been told that the smaller the snake, the more poison it holds. I've always been told that. So it didn't matter to me if the snake was big or small or the size of it at all. It was a snake. And the other thing with that, Maya Angelou's always says, when people show you who they are, you believe them. It had already shown us that it was a snake, you know, whether it was dead or alive. In my heart, I believed it was alive. In my heart, I believed that it was playing possum. In my heart, I knew that it wanted to get away, but we had somehow cornered it and it had to play dead. Don't you know that sometimes people do the same things when you're trying to be successful at something, or when you're trying to get from one point to another point? Someone is going to try to stop you. That snake stopped me dead in my tracks. Dead or alive, I was ready to call animal something. I forget their names, but it's like you call the animal people and they come pick up animals. You know who I'm talking about. I was ready to call them. My husband's like, nope, I'm going to take this snake and toss him in the road. The snake got onto his shovel. Well, he scooped the snake up with the shovel, and that snake slithered off of that shovel. You see, you can't keep evil people from doing evil things. When they show you who they are, you believe them and let them be. What did I do? I went into my garage and I looked for my mothballs, and I sprinkled mothballs inside of my garage, at the entrance of the garage, and all around my landscaping, because there was new mulching and everything. So I don't need to see them. I already know that they're here in South Carolina. That was one of the reasons why I didn't want to move here, because I know that I would see a snake more than once a year because of the weather here. And it doesn't matter how big or small they are. I know what they are. I know who they are. I know their capabilities. And I happen to share this story with a resident of South Carolina, and she said, oh, the park that I walk in all the time, there are always snakes there, and I know what they are. I don't bother them. They don't bother me, so I just go about my walk. Okay, so I know to stay away from that park. Yes. I know, to stay away. I'll just walk around in my house if need be. And just be safe, because I know my heart will stop. Just like it did when I saw that snake that my husband said was dead. It stopped. So be careful. Be mindful of what your conscience is telling you, especially when it says to stay away, or when you get those signals or those alerts. Be mindful. I just wanted to share that with you, give you some inspiration from Betty Speaks. And a lot of people are not fearful of things that slither around them. A lot of people don't mind when they get a signal on certain things in life, to be mindful of. They ignore the warning signs. Not me. So thank you for your time.